Hey guys, I just want to talk to y'all for a minute about something that I've been looking into, and that is the privatization of misdemeanor probation. Okay, a lot of you know what that is. You as well as myself have probably been on it, but I'm just real quick going to run through what that is. If you go to jail and or you have been charged with a crime, a misdemeanor, that could be a traffic ticket, anything upwards to family violence, battery, disorderly conduct, drunken public, all these different things. An alternative to being in jail is being put on probation. You would have a probation officer have to report weekly or monthly and pay dues, restitution, things like that. Okay, well, um, after being put on probation myself a few years ago, I noticed how things were done, how I was treated, and things just didn't seem to add up. So I began to look into it. And what I found out was that a lot of these companies have been outsourced by the government to private corporations. For instance, here in Waycross, there's a company called Providence Community Corrections (PCC). It is owned by a corporation called Providence Community Services, and they outsource everything. I mean, all over the country. I mean, they own A to Z Tutoring. They own all these other different companies. I mean, I began looking into it, and I began to see that there was a, how would you say, a pattern of public officials being tainted in a sense, bribed, even as going as far out allegations as far as owning the companies. Now, I'm not saying that's how it is here in Waycross. From what I can tell, that's not how it is. But whether it's here or in California, if it's wrong, then it's wrong and it needs to be stopped. The way it works is, if you are, let's just say you get pulled over for speeding. Okay, you wrote a ticket, you're given a day in court, your fine is $200. Okay, you go to court, the judge finds you guilty, and he says, I'm going to charge you 200 and some odd dollars. Do you have it today? And some people do, if you are, if you have the money, and then if you don't, he says, okay, well, we can put you on probation, at which point in time you can get off once you have paid your fine off. So you think, okay, the problem is that on top of your fine, they add $45 a month, roughly, and this is just piece by PCC standards, $45 a month, plus that's for supervision fee, plus court costs, which could be upwards of $300, $400, $500. So your $300 fine, you're looking at almost $1,000. Okay. Now here's the thing: once you're put on probation, you cannot be around other people who are on probation. You cannot be around alcohol. You can't work around alcohol. You cannot leave the state. Okay, you cannot be around. You cannot um, do any of these things that you would also have on state probation. But at the same time, the problem is that where a lot of people are saying, they say, okay, well, I can do that, but then on a Friday night, if they go to the bar and they're saw there, they've been violated. They go back to jail or they go back to court, whichever one, depending on how lenient the probation officer and the judge are, and you are then either ordered to pay another fine as well as court fees and are given more time. And you know that that creates this cycle. And then another problem that people are running into is not having the money to pay. Okay, so the judge tells you, report every week, pay your fines, stay out of trouble. Okay, now keep in mind, probation is meant to keep you out of trouble. Well, you stay out of trouble, you report like you're supposed to, but in this economy, you don't have the, 7,500, $150, $200 a month to pay these fines. So you are violated and could possibly be sent back to jail. But then you have to stop and think, this is America. It's supposed to be the land of the free. If it's the land of the free, how can they lock you up over money? And the reason why that is because it is a privately owned company. They are for profit. Okay, you see all these prison for profits, things like that. They don't want that because once you're in prison, you serve your time, you get out. Yeah, there's a repetitive cycle, but misdemeanor probation is much easier to get you on because they're making more and more laws to where it's easier to end up on it. I mean, if your child misses school and is declared truant, you could end up on it. If your insurance lapse on your vehicle, you could end up on it. If code enforcement finds a problem with your house, you could end up on it. So I think we need to evaluate what's going on here and look, okay? And I may get in trouble for this, but I have documents that have detailed information regarding the 2011-2012 fiscal year for Providence Community Services. Just in the state of Georgia, they cleared $70 million. Now, when I say clear, I mean they took that in revenue, okay? And, to some that seems like a lot, to some it doesn't. But I'm sitting there thinking, for the first time, in a long time, they've actually considered, allowing Georgia to do Sunday alcohol sales to increase the tax revenue. Okay, and if they're wanting to do that, do you see where I'm going with it? I mean, something's going on here. So, you guys need to look into it for yourselves. Mother Jones has done a great article on it a few years back. The Augusta Chronicle out of Augusta, Georgia. I can't remember the reporter's name. I'm sorry. She's done several articles on it. Very great pieces. So you need to look into this for yourself. Once I post it, I'll have links to these as well. Also, don't forget to check out my page on Facebook, In Private Probation. You can get regular updates there. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Like I said, I've kind of barely touched base. It's kind of scripted, and it's really just something I felt like I needed to do to kind of just get that out there. Because a lot of people, especially in Waycross, if you're watching this, you probably know a lot of the stuff that I'm telling you. You just feel like you're alone, and you're not. At which point in time, something needs to be done about this. But until we stand up, nothing's going to be done. That's why they continue doing what they do, because they want to attack towns that are the majority of the people are racial minorities. At which point in time, that is how it is in Ware County. And then on top of that, you want a high illiteracy rate because people don't know. I guarantee you, 85% of the people that go through those doors think that the law is being held to the utmost regard. At which point in time, it's not. Okay, so if you know, you're responsible to stand up. Thanks, guys.